Cobra are relatively new to the putter market, and they're back with a second edition of putters. So what are they like, how do they perform, and are they still 3D printed? Let's find out. So there are two new families of putters here, and we've got a few models from each to test. We've still got that 3D printed line, which is definitely more of that sci-fi, high-tech, cutting-edge technology. And then we've got the vintage range as well, which also has loads of exciting new technologies, but kind of the shapes are sometimes a little bit more classical, and we don't have that 3D printed element in there. So let's go hit a couple of putts with both sides and see what the differences are and which one might suit you. This is the Supernova. The name kind of sticks with that sci-fi, like new tech theme, doesn't it? And there's a lot of things I actually like about this, and I really like the alignment it is we've got on here. Visually, the ones that shape the ball and also in the middle of the club. It's definitely a bit more of a funky design, so it might be not for your traditionalists out there, but you can see Cobra are really trying to push the limits with this and bring in new technologies. Inside here, you can see this 3D printed technology, and that's saving a lot of space and also a lot of weight. So Cobra can really put that weight in the most optimal place to make this really forgiving and drive up that MOI. Now, we can also see in the bottom here, we've got adjustable weights, and these are actually customizable, so you can change them in 5-gram increments and make this lighter or heavier to kind of suit the feel you want. Now, another interesting thing we've got is we've got the LA face in this. So it's got descending loft technology, so it moves from 4 to 1 degrees of loft in these different slots. And that just means if you hit it kind of low or high on the face or in the middle, in theory, all the ball can kind of come out on the same launch trajectory and give you a good consistent roll. Let's see if that's the case. And this is 35 inches, so it's a bit longer than I normally use. So I'm just going to grip down a bit. How insane is this putting green, by the way? It literally goes like... It must be nearly 150 yards across there. See how long a putt I can hold later. Hopefully the answer's not 3 foot, which is what it's been recently on the golf course. Now those lines frame the ball really nicely. I definitely like that. Slightly higher pitched, I would say, actually, off the face than some other putter models I've tested. My speed control's not been very good recently, so I'd take those last two. Pretty consistent so far. I would say there's been quite a trend for kind of softer feeling faces recently in putters, and actually this feels a little firmer off the face, and that's why, hence why you're probably getting that little higher pitched sound. I actually don't mind that at all. As someone who's been leaving a lot of putts short recently, maybe that's the answer. And actually, I kind of caught that one a little bit out of the toe, but I still had fairly consistent ball speed, which I guess is that MOI story you're seeing from all the like multi-material going on here, the 3D printing. But what I like is it felt slightly different. I could tell I'd not quite struck it out of the centre. I think it's really important to have good feedback on if you've done what you intended to do or not. Oh. Nearly. Now, there are 8 models in this range, so if you think the tech story sounds interesting, but this isn't quite the shape for you, do not panic. We go all the way down to like small blades and run through a mixture of like mid mallets and bigger mallets, and there is also an arm lock option if that is your choice of putting. If you put arm lock, please just comment below and tell me how you do it, because I don't understand. Maybe it's just because I'm too short, but I just can't get into it. There's also different hosel options in this, so if someone who wants something with a bit more toe hang or less, more face balance like this, there are different options available there. Now, I like the look of the alignment. Let's see if I can actually put it to work here on some shots. So far, so good. I feel like that other ball knocked it out of the hole then. But it's not good tactically to get in there. In terms of alignment though, I think it's almost one of the key things of a putter, and actually when testing putters, almost the first thing I would do would take them out and check if I can line them up, because if you think you're pointing the putter in the middle of the hole and you're actually pointing it outside right edge, you're not going to hole many putts. So kind of getting one in your hand, checking how well you can line it to the hole is a really big part of picking a good putter for you. That wasn't even my aim. I just misread it. Right, let's check out the vintage models and see how they differ. So these actually look very similar in terms of overall styling, but there's quite a lot of difference in terms of technology. Probably most interesting in terms of feel is the fact we've got a different face in here. So this has a P-Bax face in it, and that's made from thermoplastic, and it's designed to be a little bit softer than we see in the 3D printed range. So that's quite interesting if that's kind of the feel you prefer. There's obviously an option to choose between there. In terms of construction, this uses MIM construction, which is metal injection molding, to create the whole of the putter, which is obviously very different to what we see in that 3D printed option. Again, we've got the adjustable weights on the bottom, and we've also got the descending loft technology on the putter face. So a few shared technologies, but also quite a few differences, mainly in terms of construction. I have a blade and a mallet to test here, so two different options. I actually really love the way this sits. There's something about that like full long line on the putter head that just looks really good behind the ball. Right, starting with the Stingray. It's a lot more compact than we saw in the 3D printed range as well. Probably maybe slightly my preference. Oh wow, that feels completely different. That's so much softer. From a feel perspective, I actually feel like I prefer that, even though I feel like I maybe need the ball speed of the firmer face. Some serious movement on these greens. I'm slowly trying to creep nearer to the hole. Maybe I need a heavier weight in this. I do really like the fact that that weighting is like fully customizable, because that's such a big thing in putters, getting like the feel right for you. Oh. Right, this is the Sport-40, which is definitely probably more of that traditional looking blade. This softer face feels like it's a little bit easier to control down the hill, possibly better on faster greens. I had this really weird thing where I always look at mallets and think, oh, that looks so forgiving and I really like the alignment ends. And actually I pick up a blade and for some reason I'm weirdly more consistent with them. So like, sometimes you're actually more accurate with not the model you expect. Oh, hit it. I mean, I was very consistent. Unfortunately, I was just consistently 1.5 feet short. Now, with putters so much more than anything else, there's so much personal choice to it. But what I like that Cobra have done this time is kind of expanded the range, offered those two different feels in the different models, but also continued to offer different head sizes, different neck options. So really there's loads of different choice and also more customization in terms of those weight ports on the bottom. I really like the technology, I really like the feel, I actually really like the P-Bax face in the vintage range. I think that would probably be my choice out of the two models. But in terms of kind of those head shapes, really go out, test, try them all if this is something you're interested in, and see which one suits you most. And definitely check which one you can aim. Interestingly, it was the mallets that first piqued my interest, but actually, I think I'm more consistent with this blade. Given we're on this absolutely crazy green, might as well hit some crazy putts. I'm kind of wondering how long of a swing I'm going to actually have to do to get my ball back to the pin. I guess we're about to find out. I don't think that's even like 3/4 of the way there. Actually, that's just pretty good for pace. The line was terrible. I think I've hit that closer than some of the 30-foot putts I had on the course yesterday. I'm not sure what that tells you. Imagine if I hold it. I feel like the most footage hold with this putter ever, given it's literally brand new. Oh no. Maybe I should have used the firmer insert for this one.